Hi everyone, this is Helena Hart, and today I am so excited to welcome back to my channel my very good friend and fellow coach, Adrienne Everheart. We're so excited. We've been getting so many requests for a video on this topic, and it's really something I haven't talked about too much before here on my channel, and that is 4 very powerful secrets to make a man think about you nonstop. And Adrienne is the perfect person to talk about this topic. She's a total expert and genius in this area. So welcome, Adrienne. I'm so excited to dive in with you today.
Hi, Helena. I'm so happy to be back on your channel. I have missed you, and I'm excited to share with everyone how to make a man think about you nonstop. These are some proven methods with an extra bonus method right there at the end that's going to teach you how to really open his heart when he's withdrawn or closing down or kind of leaning away from you. So I can't wait to dive in and share these with your viewers.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. For everyone watching, make sure to stay till the end of this video, because in that 4th secret, we're going to share how to crack open a man's heart, even if he's acting distant or confused about what he wants right now, right? So let's dive in, Adrienne. What is that 1st secret?
So the first thing I want to talk about is actually words and language with men. I've shared with you before that language in my book, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man, how language is so different for men than it is for women. And I always make Helena laugh when I say this, because my best advice is take what you're going to say, cut it in half, and then what, Helena?
Cut it in half again. Do I have that right?
Right. Exactly. You want to cut it in half again, because we are going to always be able to share more words with a man than he can actually handle. And it's actually been proven that a man gets overwhelmed with emotion much faster than we do, and at a rate where he can't come down from it as quickly as a woman can. So a lot of times, one of the reasons I kind of might blow up, or it's like just too much information, or I know Jeff's thing that he always does with me, he goes, wait, we're talking about what now? Because I can talk about multiple subjects at one time. So you want to take what you're saying, cut it in half and cut it in half again, and move it at a much slower pace for the man, so he doesn't get overwhelmed and all emotional, and you want him to have a pleasurable experience having a conversation with you.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. That is so important, because like you said, we women, our brains are hardwired very differently. We can jump from subject to subject. I mean, think about if you're like having a conversation on the phone with one of your girlfriends, or going on a hike or going shopping. We can just talk endlessly about all different kinds of things, and we can jump from topic to topic and come back. And men are much more linear and direct in their communication style. They often come from the perspective of what's the point? Or what's the problem? What problem are we trying to solve here? And so I love what you said, really clear, concise, straightforward communication, especially if there's something you need from him in that moment. I think that is brilliant. Do you want to jump into that 2nd secret, or is there anything else you want to say on that one?
Yeah, I think we covered the first one. There's a lot more nuances to, your words and your language with a man. But if you can just practice saying less and just see how that begins to change things with your guy, especially when you meet each other at the end of the day and he goes, hey, babe, how was your day? And you're like, I did this, and then I did that, and then this happened. And we just start listing off this list of everything. Just pick one thing. Just pick one thing and share it with him. That's what I really recommend. And you'll end up having more of this balanced dialogue with your guy. He'll be thinking about you nonstop, because the last time he spoke to you, it felt good to him. So speaking of feeling good, I'm going to talk about some testosterone. When men have higher levels of testosterone in their body, especially when they're around you, they feel really good. So there are actually some ways that you can boost his testosterone so that he begins to realize, like when he is around you, and of course, when he's away from you, he can't stop thinking about you. And the big thing here with testosterone is that when a man feels successful, like what he's just done is a success or will be a success, they get a boost of testosterone. So I want you to just start looking and finding ways. Success is the most important thing to a man. Begin to look and notice ways where you can celebrate his successes even if they're super small. Seriously, Helena, my husband and I installed a new cat window yesterday in our downstairs room where the kitties come in and out. And my husband was able to take a strip of wood and sand it down so the window would stay propped open. And I was just like, oh my gosh, baby, you're amazing. This is great. This is going to work so well for our cat window. And just celebrate those tiny successes. It means so much to the man.
It's so important. I love the second secret of boosting his testosterone when he's around you, because that's what gets depleted often when men spend a lot of time with us, especially if there's a lot of like bonding and sharing emotionally or even sex, you know, the testosterone levels will start to dip. And that's when you see a man needing to kind of take some space for himself or go off and do his thing for that testosterone to get built back up. But if he can start to associate you with feeling good, that's amazing. I love what you said. Completing tasks is actually scientifically, I believe, shown to boost a man's testosterone. So even like you said, those little things, you know, like getting the TV to work, getting a new app to work on your phone or the computer or something like that. Just these little things can really help make a man feel like, oh, I'm successful here. I'm doing something great. Just the tiniest little thing. And you want to make sure you're authentic when you're doing that. But I think that's phenomenal. Adrienne, is there anything else you want to say on that one?
Well, and just remember that the key to making him think about you nonstop is that he's feeling successful, and he's feeling successful and good and getting this boost of testosterone around you. Yeah. So that's what we're going for. That's why you want to practice these. You ready for me to move on to the next one?
Yes. What is that third secret? I can't wait to hear.
Helena and I have been, feminine energy dating and relationship coaches for a long time. And one of the top things we hear about all the time is that the man comes to the woman and he says, I can't make you happy anymore. Helena, have you heard this one?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I've heard it myself. I believe you probably have too, right? We all have. I hear that so much from women too. Like their man says, whatever I do, it's never enough. I can never make you happy. Men get this sense sometimes that it's just this bottomless pit of this endless kind of like need for something that they just don't have enough of, right? I'd love to hear, your experiences with this too.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about happiness. And again, this is if you really want your guy to have that, nonstop thinking about you, feeling addicted to you, feeling is that happiness that you guys share, that you can share in, just like we talked about sharing in his success, boosting his testosterone. You've got to let a man know you're happy. Most of the time, our default is that went wrong. Here's a criticism. Women, we can be so critical just naturally. We don't even have to really think about it. It's part of how the female brain works, is that we're finding things that don't quite fit together or belong. And so I want you to begin to foster any little thing he does that is, he's doing it for you and he doesn't have to do it. Show him that it makes you happy. Show him that big smile on your face. All this feels so good, whatever it may be. I have a joke that I always do with my husband whenever he opens the door for me. I say, "Oh, Shantae," I accept it. We have this cute little flirty exchange. He knows I'm happy. I'm joking with him and I'm happy, and they're happy when we are happy because they're making us happy. So happiness, show your man you're happy.
It's so true. It's a common thing. I love what you said. Our brains are kind of wired. I think as humans too, we're just wired to like find what we don't like and want to fix it and just subtly try to like nudge a man or steer things in the direction we want, right? I get emails from women every day, literally, of, here's the list of all these things I don't like about him or what I don't like about the men I'm attracting. And it's just natural to want to do that. And it's okay to do that with us so we can, see what's going on and tweak it, right? But when you're with a man, something I kind of came up with the other day was just like, ask yourself, how did this go better than I expected? Even if it was just neutral, what positive aspect can I focus on in this situation? Because as you know, what you focus on grows. So if you're focusing on what you don't like about your man or about dating in general, the men you're attracting, if you're single, you're just going to get more of that. You're going to recreate that experience and take it into the next experience with you. So focus on the most positive aspect of that situation. It could be anything. It could be, I like the color of the shirt he's wearing. If the whole thing was a disaster, there's got to be at least one thing you enjoyed about this interaction. You know, in what way did this go better than I expected? What about this experience would I like to take into the next situation? And go ahead and talk about it with him. Let him know how great he looks in that shirt, or how good it made you feel when he pulled a chair out for you, or something like that. And yeah, I think that's really, really important. It can be easy to forget some of those things, right, Adrienne?
Oh man, that is brilliant. I mean, everybody write that one down. How did it go better than expected? I'm thinking of that cat window last night. Oh man, it could have gone so many ways, but it went really well. We worked like a team, and my husband even said, I didn't even get mad, and he didn't. And you're right. There's so much good to focus on when you look at it's better than expected. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just came up with that the other day. I'm like, what if I just approached everything? How did this go better than expected? You know, what about this would I like more of? And just choosing to focus on that. It really works in all areas of your life. Okay, Adrienne, so what is that fourth secret to really open up a man's heart, even if he's a little shut down or distant right now?
Okay, so this is a big one. I get a lot of emails and posts on my Facebook group, I Heart Love Academy, and women are often saying, my man is withdrawing. He's, leaning away from me. He's shutting down. He's not calling me as much. He's not around. He says he's confused. He needs time to himself. And the man is going through something. And so often we want to just return to our happiness. Let's just go back to being that happy couple. And your guy is going through something. We're telling you how to get a guy to think about you nonstop, which means he's going to feel so safe, warm, and comfortable with the relationship that he really cannot stop thinking about you. So the big thing here is whenever you make a man feel wronged, shamed, blamed, or guilted, this is toxic for your relationship. So when a man pulls away, it might be our instincts to say, but I miss you. I miss you and I'm alone. And or pout or have some sort of, controlling behavior, or you didn't even call me last night, some sort of blaming, wronging, or shaming. Now look, I'm all for you having boundaries. This is your relationship with this person. It might even be just a dating relationship that's unfolding for something, more. But you want to, instead of shame, blame, wrong, or guilt him, this is about letting him know that you get it. You understand he needs a little time and space. The guy will feel like a weight is off his shoulders when you do this. So same goes even when a man breaks up with you. You can say, I accept your no. If you feel this is the right thing to do, I totally accept it. You can say, hey, take all the time you need. I definitely want us to be together when things are feeling good. And then just leave it at that. If you guilt him and say, but I'll miss you, and who will do this for me, and how will anyone help? If you guilt him, wrong him, or shame him, and look, I do it so good because I used to do it a lot, okay? I was the queen of that one. But, I was really just trying to manipulate the man to do what I wanted him to do. So instead, you're just going to say, hey, I get you. I get you. You're not going to shame him. You're not going to blame him. You're not going to guilt him. And you're not going to, make him feel wronged in some way. Those are some of the most toxic emotions a man can feel in a relationship. So whatever it is that he isn't doing in those moments, and you want to shame him or guilt him or blame him, I want you to turn it around. I want you to turn around and go to the most positive thing you can go. Now, again, you have to have your boundaries. If your needs aren't getting met in this relationship, you're going to have to eventually say something. It's been 3 weeks since we've gone out on a date. I'm feeling our relationship has really changed. And what can I say? I feel like I want to keep my options open. That's something you can do. That's a boundary, right, Helena?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you said that. I was going to mention this is not about just accepting poor behavior or letting a guy come and go as he pleases and you're just waiting around for him. Obviously, that energy of just being a doormat is very unattractive. So this is not about just letting a man do whatever he wants and you're just happy and positive all the time, right? You want to make sure that you're choosing to be with a man who is generally meeting your needs wants to make you happy. His energy is coming towards you consistently. If it's not, something's wrong, and you might want to take a look at that, right? But this in general, if things are going well and he's a good guy that's coming towards you and he wants to make you happy, you want to really stay away from making him wrong if he needs a day or two to himself, right? Or if he forgets to text back every once in a while. We're all human. We all are going to disappoint each other sometimes. So I think it's all about not going to those negative places immediately as your default, right?
Absolutely. And ladies, I just want to stress, a lot of guys think it's totally acceptable to just knock off the relationship for 2 weeks and, go away and then decide to come back into your life. That's not going to work. All right. So if you're in a relationship and you're married, and this is something very different, a marriage can be really long. You can have seasons of your marriage where the two of you don't feel as tight and as strong, and he's withdrawing a little bit more. And these are great things to practice during that long ride and long road of marriage, is allowing each other to be a human and need space without pressure, without being guilted or wronged or anything like that. But you always want to have your boundaries. You always want to be able to speak how you're feeling about something. So here's a really quick example. Let's say your guy was supposed to text you. He had wanted to see you this weekend, and the weekend came and went, and he did not even text you, and you didn't even hear from him. So the first thing I would feel is probably sad and mad, those first few feelings. But I always tell everybody, go just a little bit deeper past sad and mad, because the sadness is, I want this person to love me and be here with me. The madness, the anger is usually about control. That's when we're wanting a person to do what we want them to do. He should be calling you, right? So that's sadness and anger. The next thing I'd probably be feeling is totally confused. Like, where am I? I'm in limbo. Where are we at in this relationship? Because I want to be in a relationship with someone where I can depend on them calling me or not calling me. So the thing I would say to a man, instead of guilting him or shaming him or wronging him, is say, I feel really confused about our relationship. Can you help me understand where we stand with one another? I was really looking forward to last weekend and nothing happened. And I'm just curious where we stand. So instead of picking him apart and finding out why he did or didn't call you or what he did instead, go ahead and get that clarity on the status of your relationship. It's a very strong feminine energy trait. I care about my status. I care about where I'm going and what I'm doing with this person. My time is precious. My life is important. So tell me, where are we at? And if he tells you a place where you don't want to be in the relationship, that's where you can decide at that time to walk away and keep your options open or give it a little more time.
I love that you shared that. Wow. And what came to my mind is the beautiful thing about this work is that we can be feeling all kinds of things all at the same time. We any moment we can be feeling sad and pissed off and confused, right? So we get to choose the words that we speak. We get to choose which feelings to convey. And that's a choice. You're not being inauthentic by saying, I felt confused. That's a real thing that you felt. You also might feel happy to hear from him and pissed at him at the same time, because where's he been the last 3 days, right? All of those things are authentic and valid and true feelings. So you get to choose the words that you share with him. So I love that. It felt a little confusing not hearing from you over the weekend, or when I was expecting a phone call and I didn't get one, I felt a little worried or confused, or whatever it is, fill in the blank with how you felt there. That's coming from a really empowered place. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. So Adrienne, let's recap those 4 secrets to make a man think about you nonstop.
Absolutely. So let's get started. The first one is words and language. You just want to shorten whatever it is you want to say. We always encourage feeling statements. Focus, if you can, on more positive topics as your first little bit of exchange or conversation you have with your guy, especially at the end of the day. And keep it succinct. Cut it in half again. Number 2 is testosterone. Let him get his testosterone boosted. And a man can really feel this when he is successful at something. He's done something and it is a success. So be part of that. Celebrate the wins, no matter how small. Helena even talked about when things go better than expected. A lot of stuff could go wrong, but why not just go ahead and focus on the ways that it went better than expected? I love that one. The next one is happiness. How can we let a man know we're happy and let him take credit for your happiness? Show him that you are happy, and the really small things that he does. You know, he puts on a clean shirt and it looks ironed. Let him know it makes you really happy to see this. The more he can experience that when he's with you, you're happy and he's feeling good and you're feeling good, the more he's going to think about you nonstop. Now, the last one is open his heart. It's a little more complex because a lot of men, if they lose their job or they're going through some depression, they shut down and they withdraw. And you want to let them have that time and space to be who they are without shaming them, wronging them, or blaming them, or guilting them. And just in general, those are pretty toxic for men. They are extremely toxic for men. And you always want to find a way to flip it around to what it is you're feeling. And remember, anger and sadness are going to kind of be the first things you feel. Try to go a little bit deeper and find out what's really going on inside of you. But don't wrong and blame and guilt your partner. Know your boundaries. That's the key thing here. And let that man have time and space once in a while. Let him be a human. No pressure. It's going to feel really good to him. He's going to feel like he can really trust you with his heart and open up his heart to you, because you're not going to make him feel bad about himself for being who he is.
Thank you so much for recapping those, Adrienne. And what came to mind when I heard you talk about that again for the second time is you want to make sure you're with a man who's doing those things for you as well. This really goes both ways, especially that last one. You want to be with someone who lets you be human sometimes. I can't tell you how many times I'm irritable about something, even something really small that doesn't matter. I have my bad moods and ups and downs just like everyone else. And so you want to make sure that your man is patient with you and kind of gentle and doesn't criticize every little thing you do. This really goes both ways. And if you're single and looking to attract the right man, that's really something to look out for, I would say. And that brings us to our Dating Unzipped collection. Adrienne, I don't know if you wanted to mention that, but we have 2 masterclass programs for you guys. One is called From Heartbroken to Happily Ever After. The other one is Find and Keep the One Without Coming Undone. Adrienne, anything you want to mention about those?
I loved making these classes with you. We had a sold out classroom every time. It's more than 4 videos. It comes with our VIP library. Helena and I co-created this VIP library. It's more than 15 ebooks. There's also infographics in there, audio, all sorts of wonderful things to just enhance the process. If you really want to get more, well acquainted with feminine energy and just the things Helena and I teach, go check out this program. It's on my website at everheartcoaching.com/unzipped. Helena's going to post the links below. And Helena, I wanted to leave you with one last thing. Whenever I'm grumpy and my husband kind of notices I'm grumpy and he comments about it, and I'm being a human, my new thing I say now is, I guess I need more sex.
I love that. So I love how you just this lighthearted spin on things, because that could go either way. That could go downhill very quickly, or it's like we get to choose the direction that we interpret these things. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like, leave us a comment, let me know how these secrets go for you, and feel free to share this video with anyone who you feel might benefit from this information. And definitely check out our Dating Unzipped collection. These master classes were about 2 and 3 hours long each. We go super in depth and share very specific step-by-step tools and scripts, things you can do and say to a man to bring him closer no matter where you are in your love life. So Adrienne, thank you so much again, and I can't wait to make another video with you soon.
Bye, Helena. Thanks for having me. Bye, everybody. Mwah. Bye-bye.